uniform is like special to you nostalgically.
Yeah, we're really going to go with all yellow, huh?
Yes, there's all yellow now with the Chargers.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Highlighters.
Yeah. No, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Even going back to the dark blue or navy blue or whatever you want to call it. I mean, the powder blue is the best thing for them. I was glad to see they got back to it basically for good. And I saw the all yellow. I couldn't believe it.
And so for the Bills, I know I asked you last week about the red helmets. Like, you don't have to like red helmets, but at least if they wore red helmets, the throwbacks would look more old-timey. They would look more like, I think, that, what it used to look like in the 60s than they do when the Bills change from what they currently wear to that, because it's pretty similar.
Yeah, I mean, the standing buffalo white helmet with the red standing buffalo, I mean, to me, that's going back. I mean, to what the Bills used to wear. I mean, if you want to get cute with them, you could always wear that blue helmet that Josh Allen shows up in once a year when the fans come out for practice. But I mean, that's never been worn. If you want to do something a little bit different, but again, I'm more of the traditionalist. And if you're going to go back and do the standing buffalo, that's fine. Or the Patriots in their reds with the Patriot on the helmet or whatever, that's fine.
Love it. Where are you at on the Sabres uniforms, by the way? They've tried a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, we're what they have now. I mean, the blue and gold. I wasn't a fan of the slug. I mean, the slug was just awful. I mean, I know a lot of people grew up with the black uniforms and the goat head, but again, that's not my thing. I didn't grow up with that. To me, the Buffalo Sabres are what we see right now.
Can you remember how you felt? Were you offended when, at the time, the Sabres moved to the then new arena out of the Odd and changed everything about their uniforms? Did that offend you?
Yeah, I mean, again, I just and I understand why teams do it. It's because you're going to make money, because now everybody's got to go out and buy a new jersey. So you do things like that. You change things. You go to black because, nobody has the blacks. So now everybody who's a Sabre fan has to go out and get a black jersey. Oh, cool. And then, nobody has the goat head or the slug. So, everybody's got to go out and get a jersey because now everybody's got a jersey. So you got to do something to get people to the store to buy jerseys because everybody has a jersey right now. So I get where they're coming from there. It's revenue based.
Mm-hmm. Well, when it comes to Paul, there's no need to replace anything because he's had the same look for a long time. Always dapper, the fun ties. It's pretty consistent over the years. Paul Hamilton on the West Her Hotline. I'm Mike Schopp. Bulldog is off this week. So, Bowen Byram, Paul, it happens. 2 years, $6.25 million per. I was afraid of a long-term deal because the Sabres seem to always be in this defensive position that they would commit to him for much longer. I'm relieved that didn't happen. And you like the player more than I do. Is this maybe okay?
I think this is good for both the player and the team. The team gets a chance to see more of him, to see if maybe eventually they want to go long-term with him. See how he meshes, keep him with Darlene for the season, which works very well for him. And for the player, it's like, all right, the GM keeps telling me that we're going to be improving and we're going to do this and the team is on the way up and we're on the cusp of making the playoffs and getting better. And, so he can, play for a year and see what he thinks. See if he decides that, you know what? I do like what I see here. I do like we made the playoffs this year, and we got a good young team, and I got to play 25 minutes a game because I was Darlene's partner, and didn't get to play on the power play, but got to play in a lot of big situations, and you know what? Maybe I would like to commit to the team. So I think it's good for both sides to get for Bo Byram to see if the Sabres mean what they say as far as what they're doing to trying to become a good team, and for the Sabres to see, exactly what they have in Bowen Byram and if it's something they'd like to commit to long term.
My issue with this player is partly about, and Bulldog and I have sparred on this, like, why do I need to invest more than almost the minimum on a player to put with Rasmus Dahlin? Isn't that my part of my advantage in having Dahlin is that I shouldn't need to do that? Because when Byram was away from Dahlin last year, it went pretty badly, I thought. So can it be justified that you would spend good money on a partner for Dahlin?
Yeah, because they have the money to do it. I mean, did they overpay for Byram a little bit? Yeah, probably. And it doesn't bother me in the least because they've got money to do it. I mean, right now they have one more player to sign in Timmins as far as it goes against the cap, and you got $7.3, almost $7.4 million to play with. So, and you've already, quote, overpaid for Byram slightly, I would say. But that's kind of when you're the team that hasn't made the playoffs in 14 years. Even when you're dealing with your own people, you may have to overpay. When you re-sign Alex Tuck, you may raise your eyebrows a little bit, because you may say, ooh, that's a little more than I thought you might have to. Otherwise, because to me, Alex Tuck's holding all the cards. So if you want Alex Tuck to stay, if you're the Buffalo Sabres, and you say he's a priority, you may have to spend more than maybe you thought to do it. So that's the... When you're a team that hasn't made the playoffs in 14 years and run way this ownership runs this team, you got to spend a little bit more money to keep players and to bring players in.
So is Byram somebody, like, this is usually what we do when Bills or Sabres, somebody is young like this, and you're hopeful, right? Your fingers are crossed. You're hoping that the player can evolve and really help you. He just turned 24 barely a month ago. Is he somebody for you? I mean, there's physical talent here. Is he somebody for you that you'd expect to get better? I mean, I say again, we do that sort of instinctively with guys, but a lot of times they are what they are at this point.
Yeah, sometimes they are. You're right. But yes, I would expect him to get better. Any player that was 23 years old, I would expect to be better than what you see. I don't think 23 is the age where you are who you are. It can be, and with some players it has been, but I think there still can be some growth from players who are 23 years old. I mean, once you get to 25, 26 years old, yeah, I agree. I think you are who you are. You might have a outlier year at some point. But you basically, unless you're a goaltenders tend to sometimes wait till they're 26, 27 before all of a sudden they hit their stride. But for forwards and defensemen, my age would probably be a little bit older, 25-ish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, defensemen maybe more than forwards. Would you be a little bit more lenient with defensemen? I know that the data sometimes contradicts that, but it seems like that's conventional wisdom is that I'm thinking about Chara, actually. It's a long time ago, but defensemen needing more time.
Yeah, think of Hedman. Think of Carlson. They all you think of Dahlin. What Dahlin was after 3 years or 4 years, and then all of a sudden he hit his stride. Those are all guys who it took 3, 4, I don't know if I want to say 5 because I'm not looking back at their numbers right in front of me, but took some time. People were wondering, what do we got here in Hedman? This isn't going well. Then all of a sudden, Hedman became Hedman. Some get it right away. Makar, you didn't have to wait for him. Quinn, out in Vancouver, Quinn Hughes, didn't have to wait for him. Some get it right away, but some, even the great ones, it takes a minute for them to really, blossom into something that's really, really good.
In terms of Byram, Paul, it's only been a couple of weeks, but you had the draft and then free agency and then they go to arbitration. That's what the plan was going to be for a minute there. That was the announcement, and now you have a deal. How close do you think this result is, 2 times 6 1/4, to what the Sabres maybe intended the whole time? Like, the offer sheet was a little bit, not controversial, but it was debated. Just like, what were they saying by, the whole thing Adams went into about, well, we have the money, the offer sheet happens. How much time was there even for that to manifest? And then arbitration, and now this. Do you think maybe, I don't want to load the question because you might have a different view of this, but I wonder if this is maybe where they knew they were going to end up.
I don't know if they knew they were going to end up, but I behind closed doors, I don't think they're unhappy that they got 2 years from him. And they still may be trading him. All this does is, at least when you're trading to somebody, they know what they're getting as far as financially. They know what they're going to have to pay for the next couple of years. If so, I mean, it doesn't mean that he can't be traded or won't be traded, or still won't try to be traded. But I think all arbitration was, period, is to take the offer sheet off the table. So some team wouldn't come in. They could handle it if some team did that, but they didn't want to have to handle it. They didn't want to pay him some huge amount to keep him, an offer sheet. So I think that's all it was, is just to take the offer sheet off the table. Now let's negotiate.
Right.
Let's talk, or let's find a trade, or let's do both. Let's get a contract signed, maybe find a trade, maybe play a year and see where everybody's at after a year. And then for the Sabres, it's a 2-year deal. So after 1 year, you pretty much got to make a decision. Either, we like this player, we still like this player, and we want to go long term with him. After July 1st, you can negotiate with him, or trade him like you did Sam Reinhart, who had 1 more year before unrestricted free agency. And it got to a point where Sam told the Sabres, and it was nice of him to do that I'm not resigning, period. I will play that 1 year for you that I have to. I'll do the best I can for you, and then I'm leaving. So they wound up trading him. So, that could be Byram. He may tell them, nah, I gave it 1 more year. It's not what I was thinking. And once I hit unrestricted free agency, I'm not going to come back. So that would give the Sabres a year then to make a trade and rid themselves of the player.
Of course, Paul, it very much remains to be seen whether this will work out for Reinhart. whether the old gambit worked out for him to essentially force his way out. We don't know yet.
He went through 3 general managers, and other people were getting long-term contracts. He's playing very well. Numbers would have bared that out, and he doesn't get a long-term contract offer. And so I don't blame him at all. Why would he stay when you're disrespected like that? Did it come from the owner? I don't know. But all I know is he never was given a long-term contract offer. Now, I think Adams was ready to do it, and Sam just said, you know what? No. I've done everything I could on the ice for this group, and it hasn't been good enough. I'm sorry. I'm going to take off. Now,
well,
I don't know if that was owner generated. I don't know how it was generated, but it was three different general managers who never did that for him.
This is clearly a major disadvantage that the Sabres are facing right now, and they've even admitted it, is the player is going to get the money. The lifestyle point, they're young, chances of winning. Really, the deck is kind of stacked against the Sabres in situations like this. So while Kevin Adams, for me, has made missteps, and even at press conferences he's done so, I mean, I can appreciate what the challenge is, which is when you get a player like that, trying to convince them that this is where they should want to be is tough.
And Jack Eichel decided he wanted to be traded long before the Sabres said anything about his surgery.
Yep.
He had already decided and asked to be traded. And then all of a sudden the surgery thing came up, and I think it was my opinion. I think the owner just said, you know what? I did everything. I made you captain when I shouldn't have. I gave you a long-term contract for a lot of money, and this is the thanks I get? Why don't you go hang out at home for a while? That's my opinion. I don't know that as fact. But that's my opinion, and I think that's why it took so long for him to find a new home.
Well, again, it very much remains to be seen whether things will work out for Eichel. I mean, that's obviously still it's way too early to make that call. All right, enough sarcasm. So now it's July 15th. Byram is not traded yet, not offer sheeted, anything. Like, there's no holdout. This is done for the time being. Do they have enough scoring? Peterka's gone. What's here that's been brought in to account for that? I don't know. It's not. I think it's probably fair. It's probably safe to assume there won't be much more action here in the next 2 months, even. But what's needed?
Well, they've needed a top six forward for this is the third offseason in a row, and this general manager has failed to do it. And now he needs two because he's traded one. Now, he's filled some other holes by trading one, which I think is good. With Kesselring, I think he's going to be great for Owen Power. I think fans are going to like him. I think they got better in their number six defenseman. They had a number six defenseman who just turned the puck over constantly and took dumb penalties.
Clifton.
So I think they've even improved there. But to do that, now you've left another hole in your top six forwards. Right now, who are your top six forwards? Benson and Quinn. Well, those are the two spots I'm telling you that should not be top six forwards, and that's where they failed. But at the end of the day, Mike, it doesn't matter if they have a top six forward. It doesn't matter if they've gotten, if you really like their defense or whatever. If they don't get big saves at big times, which they didn't get last year, they're not going anywhere. It won't matter whether they make this trade or if they get the top six forward or if they get goals or are sixth in the league in goal scoring, or if their power play improved like they did in the last 23 games and they were ninth in the league at the time. None of it matters. If you can't get a big save from your goaltenders, you are not winning, period. And that remains to be seen if that's going to happen.
I'll take 92% of the saves no matter when for me, but we've gone around and around on that over the years.